cinema matinee. I ain't got $7.50 to pay.
Everybody now.
They always say you can't polish a turd, and God knows after watching this last movie, well, you sure as hell can't transform it either. Period. End of discussion.
They say they ain't got those damn Negro bots in there, but I don't know what they're gonna do now is to get a Mexican robot to turn into a lawnmower. Get a Jew bot that turns into a cash register.
Now, that would be the shit. Yeah.
Chinese robot that turns into a Chinese restaurant. Might as well, Now the movie's long. What is it, like 2.5 hours?
It's 2.5 hours plus.
This is the first time I ever looked at a girl's ass on screen and said, "Damn, this movie's gonna be shit." Because the girl who replaces Megan Fox in this movie is Rosie Huntington Whiteley. They show her walking up the stairs, and Michael Bay is on that ass about 5 steps, and it really is a Victoria's Secret commercial.
I swear to God, you see panties. Yeah. Normally, I would love that, but I'm like, this is a goddamn Transformers movie. I'm like, goddamn, really, dude?
Well, she was kind of a transformer. I mean, clearly she transformed those lips at some point.
Yeah, this guy's on set watching Michael Bay behind the camera when he's filming those shots, and he's just stroking that tripod.
I know. It is so fucking gratuitous, man.
Yeah, like, hey man, you see, he does that every time. Michael Bay, don't look, man.
This is just dumb. It's just watching a car commercial.
For the first hour and a half of this movie, while you're getting all this buffoonery that's going on, you don't get that many Transformers. They come in, say a line, and then they're gone.
Yeah, exactly. And then that's it. And then it cuts back to the comedy.
When Michael Bay can just be Michael Bay and blow up shit and do ridiculous stuff like in Bad Boys 2. I love that movie, man.
That's a good Michael Bay film.
And it's fun. But when he takes a property like this that already kind of had some background, some stories, whether you like it or not, there was something there that made Transformers work, and he stripped everything from it. I think he's incredible when it comes to action. When it comes to actors, he strips them down to their most annoying parts. The reason why we went into space is because we had a UFO land on the moon, and that was the reason why we had the rush for the space race. We send our astronauts up there. They discover that there's been this alien ship piloted by these mechanical beings, all of them dead. They bring one back to Earth. Years later, after the Autobots and the Decepticons have had that battle on Earth, Optimus Prime tells him, like, hey, you know what? Don't you think you should have told us about this? He's like, but hey, you know what? Y'all are f***ed now. Whatever happens, happens. But we discover that there's this plan that's about to unhatch that the Decepticons are going to use to bring the battle of the dead world of Cybertron to Earth. And in the process, they're going to enslave all human beings and help rebuild that world, and probably at some point wipe out all humanity. I think every black person on this planet be like, I'll be goddamn on my black ass, you're going to put me back in slavery. and I'm so upset with the film for like spending so much time giving us annoying characters, annoying comedy, and hardly giving us any Transformers, that they could have spent that time explaining these new characters, giving them some dimension, making us care about them, and they just refused.
I want to talk about something this film did do that I liked. If anybody knows how to make CG look fucking good at this point, it is Michael Bay.
Yeah.
The effects that he has going on there, the way it interacts with the world around it is so convincing. It really is kind of mind-blowing.
The movie comes to like about 35 or 45 minutes before it ends. It becomes visually this really incredible action film. There's a scene where it's a combination of characters being trapped inside of a skyscraper that's falling, and I actually love that part of the film. I feel bad giving it a rental because it's the lowest of the rental, but I do love that last part.
But there's no context for them at all.
Right.
I mean, neither in the plot and the way they fit together or in giving a shit about the characters. This is some old bullshit to me.
Yeah, it's cool. Or it would have been if I gave a shit about anybody in there, or if when people died, I actually knew who they were. Everything that comes before that is complete dog shit. This is just a straight up some bullshit.
I don't care how many people actually liked it. The people were saying, they check your brain in at the door. Those assholes checked their brain as soon as they were given birth to. And the thing is, there's no excuse for that. I mean, I always look at these films as like, wow, you have so much potential. I'm almost on the brink of a fuck. You know what? I'm gonna give it a fuck you. I have to. I really have to give it a fuck you. I mean,
so I found it interesting that the last movie caught so much flack for the offensive black stereotype robots that in this movie, they don't even want to offend white people. They're being that careful because they have NASCAR robots that you figure would probably talk like rednecks. Like, I don't know.
Larry the Cable Guy.
Larry the Cable Guy. But one of them is British and the other is Irish. And I'll admit, I'm a little disappointed because I did want to see hillbilly robots in this movie tearing up the White House looking for Obama. They got mullets and shit. We know you in there. Obama sneaking off in the foreground.
There he is. Get him. Trying to make it